Is this how we start off a show?
Oh, it's down. What the fuck? Oh!
No. This is how we start off the show.
You know what? I feel like starting it off with something called
Monday Morning Crap!
Welcome, everybody, to the greatest show on the planet, in the galaxy. The greatest show you can find. If you climbed inside of a black hole and came out of it, it would still be the best show ever. The Runner Gunner Show.
That's too good.
Yeah.
It's so good that it might be true.
And so, everybody.
It's not too good that it might not be true, but it's so good. It sounds true. The way that I'm listening to the show right now with this energy that's going on, it might be so that this is the greatest podcast on earth.
And I want to ask you guys, how was your guys' first week of 2023? How was everything going? How is life going? I hope that everything, all your dreams are coming true that you wish are going to happen in 23 have already begun. Because we have already begun our dreams and wishes and all that good stuff. But 2023 is among us, and we are here, and the Running Gunner Show is ready. And we are ready to do what we got to do, and what we're going to do is make life great and make things great for you guys on the Runner Gunner Show.
The Runner Gunner Show. Oh, incidentally, Uncle Lenny has been fired from RNG Studios.
And banned for life. He's got a for life
He is no longer working here. He is no longer allowed.
But somehow that guy is like 007 or something, man, because he somehow always finds a way to sneak his way through. I don't know how he gets through. We got so much technology, so many, we got laser beams, we got alarms, we got things he can't even see. And I don't know how he could see it, but somehow he still sneaks in. But now, besides Uncle Lenny, hopefully he won't be making appearances, but who knows? I mean, he might get a little sneak through or sneak peek. I know he listens to the show refusively, but he listens. And he loves the show, honestly, but he pretends he doesn't. He's Uncle Lenny. So you guys know what that's all about. And anyways, let's get into the show.
Let's get into the show right here. We got directors.
We're talking about
movie
directors.
We're talking Hollywood productions.
Oh, yeah.
The biggest Hollywood productions you've ever seen.
Yeah.
So fully commercialized.
Yes.
In extreme HD.
The best
of
the
you
best.
Can't withstand the pressure that it involves.
Then you better get your ass out the kitchen.
We're talking movies. Ladies and gentlemen, directors of fancy movies, big-time movies, ultimate movies, horror movies.
And so we broke it down to two. We're not saying it's in our order. There's so many genres, that we could have covered,
styles,
but it would have taken
so many different cinematography styles, so many director of pictures that are different.
Yes.
So many different cast and crew teams.
Exactly, yeah. It would have taken too long to cover all that. So instead of covering all that, we broke it down to just pretty much not the top two, but we call our top two. The Runner and Gunner
top two
directors of all time came down to one called Stefan Spielberg.
Mr. Stefan Spielberg.
And then Alfredo Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock.
So, the Croc Man is no relation to Crocodile Hunter, even though he hunts crocs, and he was pretty good. He was good. This guy is, I'll cover the Hitchcock Man.
Completely capable of crocodile skills.
He was born in 1899, the turn of the century. There was no automobiles.
You're telling
when he was born.
me that Albert Einstein was born in 1899?
Mm-hmm. I mean, no, wait a minute. Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, Alfred Hitchcock.
Well, he kind of, in a director's mental mind state, he has the mental state of an Albert Einstein. But when it comes to the movie making, that's when he kicked butt, because he was that smart that his capabilities were like Shakespeare, but more new age and a little mixture of Albert Einstein. So you can kind of say, yes, he had that kind of mind, and he knew where to place people. Just, the master director is what you could pretty much say. And he was born August 13th in 1899, the turn of the century, and he passed away all the way not until 1980. So he had a long, full, wonderful, beautiful life.
1980, he died the same year Lenin died. died.
Yeah. What a terrible year,
3
right?
years after Elvis died.
So bad, so sad, and that's just terrible. But he did
revolutionize television after all those 3 big hitters died, and Alfred Hitchcock was one of them.
Yeah, it's really a sad situation, and it's messed up that it has to go that way.
Because the 80s could have used Lennon, Alfred Hitchcock, and
who knows? What if they would have
Elvis, and
what if they would have came up with some kind of video together? They might have got
Lennon
together and come
and Elvis sing an 80s video together
with Hitchcock directing it. Oh man,
come on now,
that would have been all-time classic.
It'd be more like Lennon killing Elvis after Elvis snubbed him in the hallway.
Yeah, so his career spanned for 6 decades. In his 6 decades of movie making, he directed over 50 feature films. 50
movies.
50 movies. Which include the all-time classics as Psycho, Vertical, The Birds, Rear Window, featuring a guy called from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh yeah, that dude.
The super cool guy.
Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah. Jimmy. And there's several others, but I mean, those are the big ones. I made the big bucks.
He worked with Jimmy, The Birds.
He worked with Jimmy.
With Tom Hanks. I remember that movie. Tom Hanks when he's got the evil neighbors and they bury bones and underneath the dirt. That's it, right? The Birds?
The Birds? No, The Birds is where the birds actually attack. He based it on a true story. I read about it, a true story somewhere, I think in maybe Seattle up north or something, or the story takes place in Seattle, but the true story is that birds just started attacking out of nowhere. But his movie is a little more exaggerating than the actual story.
As it should be.
The movie's a little more crazier.
Because movies are made to entertain.
But just like Jaws, just like the Spielberg movie, as a matter of fact.
Spielberg!
So they kind of have those things in common. Jaws was based off of a true story as well. And yes.
So you're saying that maybe Spielberg's Jaws
was based off of a
Alfred
New Jersey.
Hitchcock.
Yes. Because he took it off of a New Jersey story that he had read. And a lot of movies are based upon true events, especially ones that become classics. Some, just like, the George Lucas films, are just based off of your crazy head, your wild ideas, and your crazy imagination. But some are actually based on true events. Like The Birds, for example, was based off of a true event where birds were attacking people for unknown reasons, unknown causes. It was something in the air, or just went nuts.
That somewhere in Compton, Psycho is actually a real movie.
Oh yeah, that was an easy influence. All he had to do was take a drive down to Compton Boulevard, and he met a few of them.
Discovered it all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You go knock on the door and somebody's in the shower with a knife. So I mean,
but birds somewhere birds were crashing down on cars
this is
streets
true.
And people.
Yeah, they were crashing on
Didn't
the people.
Care who they hurt
and they
or
were
what
But in the movie The Birds, it's way
they're
crazier.
Trying to kill.
In movie The Birds, they're like
murderous.
One of the big film scenes in the movie The Birds is she's in a phone booth and she's trying to call somebody, maybe her husband or her boyfriend. Hey, come help me! Booth. And the freaking birds are like kamikazes, just and hitting the phone booth and leaving kids. For those of you Lenny's don't know what a phone booth is. So let me give them phone booth is a box with a telephone in it. A telephone is another type of box where you press numbers and it actually calls people. It's like a big cell phone, and you grab it. You have to grab it.
Connected to copper wires.
It's connected to copper wires and connected to telephone poles. And you grab it, and then you could call whoever you want to call if you memorize that number.
So
they were in a phone booth,
crashing their beaks through the glass booth. In the phone booth.
Yes. Like kamikazes. And so that's The Birds. And then somehow the girl escapes, but she gets clawed up. They're clawing people. They're crashing on them with their beaks. It's a crazy movie. And everybody knows what Psycho is. Psycho is a psycho movie about a psycho who's psycho.
No one knows what Vertigo is.
Vertigo is about a man who gets dizzy with Miss Lizzie. And then he says, "Woo, baby." And then
he goes down between her legs. Oh, hold on.
Whoa.
All right, everybody, if you want to watch the Alfred Hitchcock or Albert Einstein documentaries, go on, the
there's so many.
The intraweb, whatever you guys call it nowadays.
Or where we're located is on YouTube. You could actually go to YouTube and find out what those movies are as well.
Yeah.
On there.
And in fact, he's got 50 movies. You watch 50 hours of video games and cartoons. Why don't you spend it on some Alfred Hitchcock movies?
Yeah, there you go. All right, so Gunnar, let us know about this character named Steven Springfield.
All right, Steven Springfield he's a director of movies. and he directs great movies. He
Mhm.
directed E.T.
Wow.
He directed Jaws.
Whoa.
He directed Saving Private Ryan.
Wow.
He directed. Did he direct Titanic?
I think so. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe the guy who did King Kong did. Right? I don't know. Well, anyways, didn't he do what's a more modern one he did recently? I know he did another big one recently.
All I know is he also.
And he's-
Oh, I know what it was. My favorite movie, Gunner's favorite movie of all time.
Here it is. Drum roll.
Steven Spielberg spent the entirety of the 80s filming Indiana Jones movies.
Oh, there it
Yep.
is. Cheers to that.
There it is.
Yeah, I love Indiana Jones as well. My favorite one is the Temple of Doom. Do you have a favorite one?
Yeah, I get the favorite one. It's the one with Sean Connery. I think it's called.
That's part 3, I think.
I think it's
I
called.
forgot what that one's called. That one's cool too.
Indiana
The
Jones,
Last Crusade?
The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, man, that's a good one.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and Sean Connery's in it. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
That one's
That's
good.
the first one.
That's the one where he
Oh no, that's the one with Data from the Goonies.
Yeah, Data from the Goonies. That's right. He's his little
Indiana
sidekick.
Jones in
Didn't he do that one, Jewel of the Nile?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's the one.
There it is. The 3 Indiana Jones movies. We don't count
Raiders.
the other Indiana Jones. We don't count Young Indiana Jones. Although Young Indiana Jones is pretty good, but we don't count it. Indiana Jones, Steven Spielberg. Also, Steven Spielberg was like behind the scenes on a lot of great movies. Like he produced the Back to the Future.
Yeah,
he
see, there we go.
He put his money to make that movie.
Man, so
Things
he
like
believed
that.
in that kind of, like, he knew.
Yeah, in the 80s
That's how-
especially,
yeah.
Steven Spielberg was so big in the 80s. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
kind of just like this network of a person, and he held hands with everyone. He didn't fight with anybody.
Very
He didn't
cool.
have any bad blood with anyone. It was like almost
Wow.
like Salmon.
Well, because nobody, he's so high up in the,
It's
you
almost
know,
like it's almost
he's
like the son
king.
of David.
He's
you
the
know?
king. He's like the king, and then nobody really wants to mess with him.
And he was Jewish,
negative
and he was
direction.
like he loved his Jewishness, and
Yeah,
he was just a blessed man. He was blessed by God. You know, I don't know what he did later in
and very talented
his
as well.
life, but in the 80s, he was a very blessed man, and I don't keep up with him too much. His movies kind of are a little too commercial nowadays. They're not about the love so
it's
much.
about the name now.
It's
Yeah,
just about
it's
his
the name,
name's there. He shows
Just
up
throw
and
his
gets
name
a
on there.
paycheck. and
Yeah,
It's like clocking in and out, like
Yeah,
Fred
okay,
Flintstone.
yeah.
He pretty much became Fred
Yeah.
Flintstone.
yeah.
In
Just
such
clock
a
in, clock out.
such a creative job, it
Mhm.
does happen.
Yeah.
Everyone turns into a Fred Flintstone. It ain't a bad
It
thing.
happens. Yeah, it has to happen
This
eventually.
guy just so happens to be making millions and millions of dollars
Millions.
with his Fred Flintstones. In fact, I just saw his last movie, which was The Fablemans. It was good.
Yeah,
And I saw his
Hmm.
other ones,
I haven't seen it.
Ready Player One.
How was it?
It was cool.
All right.
Lots of
All right.
CGI. Lots of CGI.
Yeah. Okay.
And I saw his other ones. Polar Express sucked.
Oh yeah, that was a recent one, kind of, but that's kind of old too.
Warhorse.
I've never seen that
It was
one
pretty
either.
boring. I don't know what he was doing with Warhorse, but it was extremely boring. I couldn't get through it, but it was really good.
hmm
It was really good. And Lincoln was also really boring, but it was so good.
So, all right, let's give it an overall. I mean, man, Hitchcock A+, Spielberg
A
A+.
plus.
I mean, there's no. If you guys disagree, they gotta let us know, because I mean,
If
we
you
both
disagree,
we
come
both
on.
agree that they're both A+, and I agree with him. We're agreeing upon each other's pretty much. I mean, you could say either or guy, and
'Cause
we'll
you-
be like, they're both amazing guys.
Because you could be out there and you could be like, well, I only like independent directors because I think they're the most spiritual or whatever.
And you
Or
could say
I
that
only
he's
like horror movies,
yeah.
horror directors because they put all the special effects and blood.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And
You
then you'd
could,
be
you
like, I
could
don't
say
even
that.
like Spielberg because I like this kind of directing. You can't say that, so go ahead and tell us in the comments.
Yeah, leave some comments. Let
Especially
us
on
know.
our Instagram, we'll put up a post to say who your favorite director is. Go ahead and follow us on the Instagram. It's the Runner and Gunner Show Instagram.
Running on the show.
We are
Instagram.
popping. and We
Woo!
have so much weird, great material, all for your entertainment, all for the love of good. And we're
Good
telling
stuff. And we're just telling you guys that it's going to be amazing. This whole season 6 is a whole different era we're coming upon. 2023, we're going to kick some butt, and we are going to do good. Now, we're going to do a little segment real quick called What If?
What
What if?
What if the time was
What if,
ready for the rhymes?
So the big question is, what if... The first question we have two actually. What if there was a plane crash a long time ago? It was in the the day the music died, actually, I think 50 something. Richie Valens, Big Bopper, and Mr. Buddy Holly. They all, actually, Richie lost it by a coin toss, and he freaking won the coin toss, but he didn't win in the long run, if you know what I mean. So,
What are you saying, Runner?
what if these guys would have never got on that plane? Big Bopper, Richie Valens, and Mr. Buddy Holly would have never got on that plane.
Are you saying what if Big Bopper, Richie Valens, and Buddy Holly lived
through it and did not
and they were
jump on
still
that plane?
alive today?
And they were alive now. And wow.
Like Jerry Lewis?
They would have been, Jerry Lewis just died. They would have been
just like him.
About 10 years older than Paul and Ringo.
Oh!
So,
I love it.
So
I want to see it.
The big what if. So now we're asking that question. What if? So for Big Bopper, I believe Big Bopper would, he probably would have produced a bunch of videos, I think. I think Big Bopper would have been a producer. He would have been the voice behind the
I think Big Bopper would have gotten into drugs and porn.
I meant to say producing porn, but I didn't want to go. That's what I was going to say, and he's going to do the voice of the guy. No, okay, anyway. Let's not go that deep.
If he turned out to be a good guy, he would have opened up a couple sandwich shops and just chilled.
Yeah.
Maybe even got fit in the 90s, in the 2000s. Maybe even became a vegan in the 2010s.
Oh, no.
He would have. He'd be like 80 years old.
Big Bopper sandwich shopper. Big Bopper sandwich shoppy.
Change his sandwich shops to salad shops just to meet the market.
Big Bopper salad shop. Salad and tea.
What about Richie? What would Richie?
Richie.
He wouldn't be selling oranges unless he owned a chain of supermarkets.
Richie Valens,
he probably would have owned a chain of supermarkets.
He would have owned
Valens,
instead of
they got Gonzalez.
They would have been Richie's.
Valencia.
Oh, they have that already though.
Oh, see? Maybe that was Bob.
Maybe it was his mom.
Maybe Bob did it.
Bob did it. Yeah. Thanks, Bob. And yeah, so he would have had groceries. He would have had a Mexican restaurant, a few of them here and there, taco shops.
So good at
but
guitar.
he would have just dominated.
He would have been still.
He would have been making tracks.
Imagine that grown 90 years.
He would. Everybody would want to collaborate him. Everybody from the Beatles to Stones, the Animal. Everybody would have been like, let's collaborate with Richie because he would have been the man. He was only 17 when he died. 17. Can you imagine that? 17? Yeah, that's pretty damn young. And so what we're saying is he passed on us too young, and we're sorry to see you go. But what about
Buddy Holly?
Runner, tell us.
Buddy Holly.
Let us know, Runner, what would have happened if Buddy Holly would have survived that crash, that horrible night. What would he be doing right now, or from back then to this current moment?
Well, first of all, if you don't already know, that Buddy Holly was dating a Mexican.
And the Crickets. Oh, not the Crickets weren't.
Oh, no, the Crickets were. Buddy Holly was dating a Mexican chick. If you didn't know that, he would have had a bunch of Mexican babies.
Oh, man.
Because as we all know, that Buddy Holly is smooth with the ladies. And I bet he would have had a lot of kids. I bet he would have had a lot of kids. And he would have been so good at guitar. In the 90s and 80s, I bet he would have had a comeback.
Oh, yeah. Comeback tour.
Yep. Him and Carl Perkins.
Him and Richie.
Richie, Carl Perkins, and Buddy Holly.
Oh,
Roy Orbison would have been alive, too.
Oh, wow.
Roy Orbison would have lived alive.
And George would have joined them.
Roy Orbison's wife would have still been alive. And his kids.
Whoa.
Yep. Because Buddy Holly would have been like, hey, dude, go spend time with your kids, man. I got a Mexican chick.
Yeah.
And she's telling me we're all about family. And us white people, we don't know too much about family. That's because we're Irish or Scottish.
Yeah.
But for all the white Americans who are pilgrims, remember, your family is the pilgrims.
Yeah. What you got?
All you got.
They're all you got, and you gotta cherish them every minute of the second.
Which just means your neighbors. Your neighbors are your family.
Your neighbors are your family. Actually, we're all the same blood. We all bleed the same color. I mean, your brother's a mother sucker. I mean, everybody's cool.
Oh, what? I mean, what?
Everybody's good, and
which brings us
you gotta
to the
treat
next
everybody
topic,
equal, is what we're trying to say.
Which is another what if.
What if?
Gunner's got a what if.
What if? Tell us what if. What if what?
So, yeah, Runner and I, we love to talk about rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Just nothing but rock and roll. We don't even talk about
Rolling.
R&B. We don't listen to R&B.
I love R&B.
But we love it.
I love R&B.
And so tonight's segment
I love
is
old school
called
R&B the most.
What If Tupac,
Biggie Smalls,
and Eazy-E lived?
Man. All right, well.
What would be? Hold on, let's just ask really.
These young men all died young ages.
What if they lived? Would Jay-Z wouldn't be around? Because Biggie would.
The whole rap game would have been different.
Whole
wait a
rap
minute.
game would have been
Jay-Z and
different.
Biggie actually made tracks
The
together.
whole rock and roll game, because
Jay-Z would have been around, but maybe not Eminem so much.
Nope, because Tupac would have punked Eminem.
Yeah, see, but I don't know. Maybe they would have
Not
collaborated.
1999 Eminem. But 2010 Eminem,
oh, maybe,
Tupac
yeah.
hated 2010 Eminem.
Yeah, maybe. Not 1990. He would have loved it. He would want to collaborate with that guy.
And they
He'd
would.
be like, let's collaborate. Let's make some tracks. And then later on, he might feud with them. Like, but Tupac was a very aggressive type of person.
What if Runner? What if Biggie, Tupac, and Eazy-E were alive today in 2023?
The rap game would not be where it is. The rap game would not be where it is. I guarantee that. I mean, it would have been similar to where it was now, where it is, but Drake, I mean, come on. Drake wouldn't have the fame that he has if Tupac and Biggie and Eazy all got together and made this huge album and collaboration that they were going to make if they would have all stood alive.
How come?
They were planning on it because his tracks would not even compare. He would have been a background singer to them. That's how big it would have been. And they would have been the most hugest people. Biggie by himself would have been the hugest, but the most hugest artists in our time. And they would have been big. They would have taken over all music right now, actually, because there's nothing bigger than when their time, how big they were at their time, each one of them individually. But if they, Biggie and Tupac would have made up, they would have just said, hey, let's hug it out. We got into a feud and we're cool now, whatever. They wouldn't have gotten murdered. Yeah. They would have made up. They would have became friends. Probably made an album.
And Tupac.
Suge Knight would have been locked up. Yeah, well, yeah, Suge Knight would have still did that. What he did.
Would have been evil, but they would have made up.
They would have made up and been cool, and he would have just released them, and like Dre. And then probably Tupac might have been producing Biggie, or Eazy would have had his own record company because he already owned Bone Thugs and Harmony. So Eazy probably would have had them on his record label, and he would have probably retired from hip hop because he was already like kind of done with it. Like he had to be convinced to rap actually by Dre. So he would have probably got back with Dre and Cube, and they might have, brought NWA together again.
They would have. Eazy would have been at the Super Bowl.
And they would have been, he would have been at the Super Bowl performing with them that day. And so would have Tupac and Biggie. Instead of 50 Cent and Eminem, it would have been like Tupac, Biggie, Eazy, and Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, those guys are all missed, every single one of them.
So pretty much, it's Biggie Smalls, who was fat, Tupac, who was skinny, and Eazy-E, who was little.
Yeah.
All still alive in 2023. A lot would have been different.
Mm-hmm.
Good music probably would have survived.
It would have survived. This rap we have now would not have lived through.
Good commercial music, so.
Yeah, commercial, yeah. Yes, because good music is out there.
Good music is out there.
Commercially, it's not as successful as it once was.
Yeah.
Like, there's no humongous. I mean, there's big artists, of course, but there's nobody that just overtakes the whole genre by themselves. Like them three guys did at one point.
There's gonna come somebody.
There will come.
They're gonna be like an internet sensation.
Yeah.
It'll be the first internet sensation because we haven't had an internet sensation unless it's Kim Kardashian. But she's not really sensational for she's sensational.
Well, yeah, she's sensational for her. But besides everything else,
we're like talking like the Beatles revolutionized radio, which Thomas Edison invented.
Yeah.
Now no one's revolutionized internet since Bill Gates has invented it.
And see where these guys came up from were before the internet also. So they had to do it the old school way also, which was sell, records out of your trunk and do it old school. Sell your records at the swap meet and do it the old school way, which is more of a hustle now. Now it's just so lazy. You could get on the microphone at your house and sell records like that. It doesn't, back then you had to do more of a hustle thing. So
even the guys in Venice Beach are lazy now. Remember they used to put the CD in your hand?
Yes.
And then they would talk you.
And then talk you into it. Be like, hey, I made this record. You want to hear a track?
Here's a CD. Here's a CD.
Buy it, bitch.
Here's a CD. It's like, dang, you're not even giving me a pitch no more?
I know, before, I remember that.
Here's the CD?
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have their guitar. At least they pay you a little something. Like, hey, give me something. Then he'll just do a little shred real quick. And then, all right.
In the 90s,
maybe I'll think about it.
Give you some pills and give me there as a front. But, in the 2000s, they were seriously just trying to move some music.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Because I remember going to the 90s. I used to go to swap meets also. And I remember, like, they'd be playing some track over and over. And I'd be like, damn, all right, I'll go check it out. Because after a while, after hearing the track like 4 or 5 times, you're like, all right, that's okay. And then, so you go up to the guy and it'd be like, who is this? And the guy was right there who freaking rapped this.
Remember what it was?
Rapped the thing.
It was like the gangster booth.
Yeah, it was the gangster booth. That's so cool. Booth. And I was, dressed however I was. And I would go up there and it would appeal to me at the time because I was into that style of music and it was just the era and the way things were.
You used to go into the gangster section?
I would go in the booth, and I would talk to them. And maybe
you're 12 years old?
Yeah. I was a youngster. And so I would go up to them. This is true. I would go up to them, and I would be like, who's that? It sounds pretty good. They're like, this guy right here doing it. I'm like, oh, shit. This guy right here. Oh. But, yeah, you shake his hand, and then they just say, hey, buy my CD for $20. Oh, man. So they lured you in. They throw their hook out there with the music. And hoping that after 5 times
would they be producing all their friends in their section, but they would specifically solicit you to buy their own, like if it was a big fat
because he would be there, the fat guy would be there with his hat on and his group.
He'd be like, buy my CD. That's kind of cool.
Which is a lot more, a lot more than effort than they give now.
So pretty much you used to have like a bunch of unknown, no name, no hitters. Who you liked because who you were back in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's trippy.
That's how it goes. Yeah, that's how it went. That's how it goes. That's how it went. But, yeah, things changed after that. I mean, yeah.
Because now you just put on YouTube and then, like, you'd follow a gangster on YouTube and be like, no, I like his YouTube. So these are the gangster hits on YouTube.
And then he has like one hit and everything else sucks, so you won't get lured in to buy the album. Like back then they had a better pitch.
Or maybe so when you would buy them,
they play their hit. They play their best song over and over that everybody liked, and you're like, oh, maybe every song's like that.
Did you?
So they wouldn't play they wouldn't play the next track. They'd be like, oh, every song's like this.
Joel's? Or did you listen to it? Or you knew? Dang. Only the hit was
garbage. You mostly get ripped off. Yeah, you mostly get ripped off. But I mean, it was a good pitch, and it was a way to make. Yeah, it was a little hustle. I mean, it was better than selling drugs or doing whatever. Yeah, it was better than.
It'd be whole walls. They would have like CDs, like like a tent. It was like
yeah. Well, yeah, you remember that? Yeah,
to the walls.
It was. Yeah,
and you're like, how did they get all these CDs?
And they'd have a rack of like
cholo. Back in the 90s, before it's popular. It'd be a cholo with a black bandana, and he'd be wearing the black flannels.
Yeah, and a cap.
And then there'd be like 2 chicks in bikinis on a lowrider.
Yep, just like that.
Every gangster album, was decorated that way.
Yep, and so in those little booths, all they had was the oldie section and the rap section.
And the oldie section, and it was exactly the same.
It was oldies, old school, and then rap, and that was it.
And it was the same stuff with the oldies, like
two sections.
Those fake oldies with one hit, right?
Yeah.
Unless they had the compilation
it was like
of
the
real oldies.
super hidden one hit oldies.
Like Vatos Collections, Volume 6.
Vatos Cholos, Volume 1.
Oh, those were good.
I mean, you could cruise the boulevard with them, but
if it was like Uncle Lenny sings Vatos Locos.
And that ain't gonna work.
Uncle Lenny sings the oldies. Nah,
not gonna work. Not gonna happen.
Nah, but if it was Vatos Locos collection, it was the original hit pressed onto a CD.
Yeah, then
worth it.
Then buy it. Yeah, that's worth it.
Yeah, so that's probably what their market was, and so then they're just trying to solicit you their stuff.
Yeah, and it worked. You got to believe the pitch. It did work.
But back in the day, it was kind of hard to make an album. So nowadays, it's so easy. Maybe that's why the people
it is easier
hand them out are so lazy because it's
you had
so
to press
easy.
them back then. Had to actually be pressed, but now you don't have to press nothing.
You can pretty much just get equipment and play it
You
in
could
your
make
car
your own album. Yeah, you could
and make your own album.
Yeah, you could create your own. Put on a USB and just spread it like that.
Yeah.
You could just buy a bunch of cheap
But
USBs.
back in the day,
you had to press an album. You had to actually do it. You had to go to a company. You had to get it pressed. It was harder back then.
And you do it through a tape too. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
You have to film a tape and give it to them.
It's a lot of money to do all that.
It's a
so
lot of
you
money.
have to start with your little
$1,000.
mixtape and promote it, sell little mixtapes, and that's But the hustle has changed, and so anyways. Tupac and Biggie and Easy would have created a whole new world for all those guys. That's where what we were saying was that's how they started though in those kind of eras and that kind of ordeal where they had to sell their stuff.
Tupac did start that way. So
Tupac,
did
Biggie, and Easy all started the same way, in tapes and in LPs, records.
They did.
So this was before
they started on
when
tapes.
CDs were like barely.
LPs, tapes, like
they couldn't afford to make CDs.
You put the pencil and you wind it up.
For Lenny's.
They filmed on that.
Lenny's have no idea what we're talking about.
We filmed on that.
We're talking about old stuff.
Remember back in the day, the Casio would have the microphone and you press record. Record and play at the same time. The Casio had a microphone.
And then you hold it down.
And, so
then when you could press pause, record, and play, and then when you're ready, release the pause.
Whoa. What an amazing device, right?
Pretty cool. But eventually, the damn play and record buttons would break, and then you have like a little white button that you have to hold down with your finger.
You have to get a new one.
Yeah, either that or But anyways,
what did that
days.
do to the generation of Americans, who played with that thing?
Yeah.
Like, America was always in love with recording.
Yeah, we still are.
We still are.
But it's different now. It's
even more so than, like, Japan and China.
Oh, yeah. But they invented the devices that we recorded on, but we were more in love with it more than them.
Yeah. I think the English did, right?
Mostly the Japanese did, I think.
France.
And China too, and
France
Taiwan.
Invented the photography.
Well, yeah, France, the straight invention, but I'm talking about during the 80s and 90s, a lot of it came from Taiwan.
And Americans invented photography. What is America's obsession with life? I think it has something to do with the Holy Spirit.
I think Americans are obsessed with money, actually. Most of them.
I think we're obsessed with the Holy Spirit, and we just want the Holy Spirit, and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah, you're right.
And then the Holy Spirit brings us great things, and we're like, woohoo!
Yeah. As long as you...
Everybody, this is the Runner and Getter Show. We got to end.
We got to go.
We meant to do a quick segment, and we've gone...
We went over
that last conversation got us Tupac.
But it got us to all way deep into this.
Because if they were alive today, the world would be different. And if they were alive and Buddy Holly, Richard Valens, and Big Bopper were still alive, it would be a whole different world.
A whole different scenario.
You might as well say
rock and roll.
Elvis, Alfred Hitchcock, and John Lennon were still alive.
Oh, man.
Same difference.
Same
Imagine
here.
if all 9 people that we just mentioned right now were all still alive.
Wow.
Man,
it would just be so amazing. The world would have been a whole different place, actually.
Might as well say, what if Leonard Skinner was still alive, too?
Because they all changed the world in their own way, to their own, different people who follow them and who love them know that they changed the world in their own way. And so, I mean, the world would be a different place.
It would be a different place.
They were all alive right now.
If Lennon, come on now.
But okay, we gotta go.
We gotta go. The producers is giving us that sign.
We went way over what we were supposed to do, so we're gonna let you guys go. We want you guys to have a great 23, beginning to a great 23.
Have a great 23.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We're gonna let you guys go with the best part of the show
that we like to call the 2-minute rundown. What's up, everybody? It's the 2-minute rundown of the 2-minute rundown of the 2-minute rundown. The 2-minute rundown.
So on the rundown, we're going to talk about the directors that we might have forgotten, that you might have acknowledged. And one of them is John Singletary, best well known for Boys in the Hood, many other films. He is an African-American black director and one of many few but he's amazing and he deserves his props.
Ridley Scott is also, he directed Aliens, and he directed that movie Legend with Tom Cruise.
Wow.
And he directed a few other movies after that, and he's still directing movies nowadays. I think Gladiator Part 2 is finally coming out. He's also an amazing director that we forgot to spew to you on the whole topic of the subject of whatever we're talking about.
And we also forgot to talk about George Lucas.
George
the guy
Lucas.
who directed Star Wars. And that's what
Mr. Lucas.
I mean, just from that itself, billions of revenue. They both made millions of dollars. So he's loaded from that. And then plus Disney brought the rights, and they brought it for $100 billion. So he is a trillionaire.
He's a trillionaire.
So good for him.
And also he owns Roblox, and pretty much he should own Roblox. If he doesn't, he should. Anyways, we also got Mr. Mal the Snail Brooks. Mal the Snail Brooks. He is the creator of Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Dracula Dead and Loving It, Robin Hood Men in Tights. Have you seen that new cartoon with the dog? He's also the writer of that. I think that they should make the Frankenstein movie, Young Frankenstein. They should make that in CGI. Make it CGI. Cut all the nasty parts, CGI. Whoa. What about Mr. James Cameron?
James Cameron made the newest, greatest film that is out there, getting all the big bucks.
We got a few more, like Francis Ford Coppola, Sophia Coppola, his daughter, Stanley Kubrick.
And whoever else we've forgotten. Oh, Wes Craven.
Whatever
you're Craven.
Oh, John Carpenter.
Carpenter. So, there's so many that we have forgotten. But if we have forgotten any, you guys know where to get at us. And you guys can let us know who we did forget. And what we did forget to mention was sports in the 2-minute rundown. Sports is going on. We got NFL playoffs coming this weekend. So things are about to boil up in the NFL. So get ready.
Boiling up, everybody. Get ready. Go Raiders. Oh, wait, they're not going to make it. But go. The Bills versus the Phillies. That's what we want to see.
Bills versus Phils.
All right, everybody. So, drive safe. Pay attention to the road. Have a great, blessed Monday morning. And if you want an extra blessed Monday morning, how about you say amen?
Amen. And for 2013, 2023.
2013, 10 years ago.
See, I was
Time warp.
See, just like we were talking about how time warp was earlier, how things could have been if things had changed. That's why I went back into that time warp.
If things changed.
So the loophole is we're trying to change things for 2033 at 2023 right now.
That's right.
So we're going to make things better as long as you guys keep listening to the show.
He's actually very correct, because if 2013 was 2023 as it is right now, back in 2013, what were you thinking? What were you going to do? What were your plans? And if you could remember those plans,
did they come true?
That what is 2033 going to be now that it's 2023.
And if they didn't come true, you can make them come true, because you got to start all over from that area to this next area, which is 2033. And you got 10 more years to change your lives and improve your lives, improve your souls, and be blessed. And so we want to let you guys know that this has been the Runner Gunner Show. And in conclusion, we are dope. You are dope. Everybody is amazing. And everybody can have a great Monday. And if you have a great Monday, then you can have
a great life.
So everybody out there, take care. We love you guys. Solid.
Runner Gunner, not responsible for any injuries, postponements, or collateral that may occur during or post segments of our entirety of the show. You are now or have been listening to. We would like to add any involvement with similar subjects in the show are completely coincidental and may or may not be facts. We would also like to thank you, Lennox.